Chef Risham Sachdeva, chef and founder of Tendril, a mostly vegan kitchen. Tendril is a mostly vegan restaurant. We call it mostly vegan because I still do a bit of dairy here and there. I still do cheese. Moves away, but we're doing this really interesting, light, very easy to do, a courgette and a heritage tomato dish. So, British tomatoes in season right now. The flavor is insane. They're sweet and they got that, perfect umami, perfect sourness to it. So we pair the courgettes with British peas. So we make a really simple pea puree with preserved lemon. The lemon was preserved, last winters. We pair it with smoked courgettes. So we just kind of cook out baby courgettes ever so lightly in a slight, could potentially call it as a confit. You just whack back that in a bit of oil, steam it ever so lightly so they still have that bite. Then throw them on the char grill so they get that smokiness but still hold its shape and still have that texture. So we're trying to make an emulsion with fat and acid. So usually when you cook fish you would add a lot of butter just to kind of baste it. We do smoked rapeseed oil and a bit of lemon juice to begin with, a bit of sea salt. Once that's kind of done, we'll add a touch of pea puree, just a little bit, just to coat the whole thing over again. It keeps it nice and fresh. The acid's there. Start to lose a little bit of color, but we should be fine. It's just kind of you're trying to coat the whole thing. Because the courgettes are already hot, so you don't really need to cook them much. So just before you take it off the heat, where I think most of the cooking will happen, you'll add the peas, add some fresh chives, and that will be your emulsion. Touch more fat. Much more lemon juice in this. Okay. So that would work like your base of the dish, but I still feel the hero of the dish are the tomatoes. I want to keep the tomatoes a little chunky. I mean, I love a green tomato, but a big chunk of green tomato is never a sort of pleasant bite. So you're going to keep the green tomato as thin and sliced as possible. I genuinely love when tomato extract that sweetness from a caramelization, but you still don't want to cook them too much. So we just kind of really char them on a very high heat so they can have that burned charred skin, but have that sweetness also intact. So we served it with the heritage tomatoes, and we make a really interesting simple fennel and chili marmalade just to add another layer of the whole thing. That gets mixed with the tomato, the heritage tomato that acts as a marinade. A little pea puree at the bottom. Just kind of the smoked courgettes, charred smoked courgettes with peas. I like the roots. I think they give a really nice, the nice texture to the bite. Now you can see color for the chives and everything sort of discoloring. And then we really simply top this up. A couple of pieces of fresh tomatoes, a couple of pieces of charred tomatoes. Just kind of add that depth. The tomatoes are marinated in fennel and chili marmalade. A little touch of rapeseed oil. Like the green tomatoes kind of going through. Just to add a little bit more acid, pickled fennel in Chardonnay vinegar. Just to add that bit more touch to it. And then just finally finish it up with some crispy black rice to add a little bit of texture to the whole dish. And we have this beautiful fennel tops. They add another layer of freshness to the whole dish. That's sort of one of my favorite dishes so far.